Hey guys, today I wanted to showcase my mercenary that I've been using in this league to support my luminary. And she's none other than Thunderquiver. She's a mercenary that is pretty much not talked about anyone, but I feel like she brings a lot of things to the table that are kind of missed by many of the people that are playing luminary as a permanent mercenary this league, right? Why choose Thunderquiver with all the other options that we currently have? Well, first of all, she brings two very powerful auras. She brings a Wrath aura as well as Precision aura, which both of them are very good for any elemental damage based builds, right? Now I'm playing a Frostblade build with a scaling with Trinity. Basically, I'm scaling both cold and lightning damage. So for this build, where through Frostblade I'm already getting 60% physical damage converted to cold damage, as well as my White Wind that basically gives me a lot of cold damage. Additional to that, I am going to be getting a ton of extra lightning damage because of this Wrath aura. Precision basically allows me to be crit capped as well as accuracy capped. Right now, if you take a look at my current stat, my chance to hit is 93%, right? But if I go to any map, one more thing I actually forgot to show you guys is that how much damage it actually gets me. But let me just go to the hideout and show you prior to getting the extra Wrath and Precision aura what is my current damage. It is 198k with 93% chance to hit. If I get inside a map where I get the mercenary to help me with the Precision and Wrath aura, my chance to hit becomes 100% and my damage becomes 310, which is sort of double than what I was having in the hideout, right? But apart from these, I have something else that I wanted to show you guys that the mercenary is helping me with. So she is equipped with a ring that curses the enemy with elemental weakness, and for a Trinity based Frostblade character, this basically helps you to do more damage because the enemies are cursed with minus elemental resistances, right? In order to make this work, I have anointed her ring with the Whispers of Doom, which basically allows her to curse the enemies with elemental weakness along with my Assassin's Mark. I know that she's bringing an Assassin's Mark as well, but you pretty much have to use the Assassin's Mark setup by yourself because with quality you have 7% chance to grant a power charge and hit. Without the quality, it's not going to be giving you that, so her Assassin's Mark is probably going to be giving you some power charges while you're mapping, but it's not going to be helping you out on bosses. So first up, she's bringing the extra curse of elemental weakness on hit, right? Next up, she is bringing on her gloves the chance to intimidate enemies for 4 seconds. This basically makes the enemies take 10% more damage, right? So it's a 10% damage boost. After that, she also has 15% chance to maim enemies on hit. Maimed enemies basically gets slowed a bit. It's a utility that she brings to the table. Now, maim requires you to hit the enemy with physical damage. Thunderquiver is using Lightning Arrow, which converts 60% of physical damage to lightning damage, which leaves 40% of her physical damage untouched, meaning she does have the physical damage required to actually apply the maim. And you can see the effect of maim in quite a few fights, I would say. Apart from that, she is also bringing Sapped Ground. Now, if you think that, well, I do not know where she is standing. How do I know that she'd be able to sap the enemies? Sap basically does is that makes the enemies do less damage. Now, in order to use this, what I do is that, let's say that this this is where the boss is, right? Let's say that this is in the portal area. This is where the boss is, and my Mercenary is a little bit far from me. What I do is that I use Control Q to order the Mercenary to come to me, right? When I do that, she comes to me, and see, if the boss was in this area, if I use that, she jumps back in that location and then moves to some other place where she pleases. But at least for 2 seconds, she does apply the sap on the enemy. And because of the low cooldown of Order Me, you basically can keep on like casting your Frost Bolt and then just keep on Control Queuing, right? So it basically makes it so the for like 50% of the time in a boss fight, she's going to be able to apply the sap to the enemy. Now, these are the buffs that she gives me, apart from the already boostage of my damage via the intimidation, via the elemental weakness, and a little bit of slowness with maim and sap. These are the things that she's currently giving me. Now, why Thunderquiver is good for damage as well? Well, you see that if I go to my bow, it does about 1,000 elemental damage, but it is very cheap. I probably bought it for 40 chaos, which is a bit of a low price for a bow with that much damage. But I was able to buy it because it has very low crit chance. It has 5.5 crit chance, as well as very low attack speed. 1.4 is kind of considered low. You would generally want anything 1.7 and up, 1.8 even better, to be a faster attacking bow build. But what I'm doing is I'm using the destructive link, which basically makes it so that my Mercenary's critical strike chance is equal to mine, and my critical strike chance is very high. If I take a look, show you this. Currently, where's the crit? Okay, currently we have 73% chance to crit. Let me go and start the fight. Just look at that. It goes to like 88, right? It goes to 88, 89. I think that's enough to showcase. But it goes to 88, but that is minus the fact that on bosses I additionally get 1.5% base crit chance, which, if according to the path of building, let me show you the path of building as well. Actually, this would be better to just tell you what I'm talking about. So from the path of building, you can see with all these things considered on bosses as well as rares, anywhere you can apply the Assassin's Mark curse, you basically have 99.61% crit on this build, right? So when I use, currently she's not linked, my Mercenary is not linked. If I link her, then she basically gets the 99.6% chance to crit on her attacks as well. So she is literally crit capped with a bow that barely gives her any crit, right? So this basically allows her to do a solid bit of damage. Apart from these, she is using Lightning Arrow with greater multiple projectiles. This gives her a very solid coverage to apply the curse enemies with elemental weakness on hit, as well as the intimidation and maim etc. But apart from that, she also brings Storm Rain as well as Val Lightning Arrow. Both of these, what she does is that she casts Val Lightning Arrow once, and then On bosses, she's smart enough to only pretty much spam Storm Rain, and both of these actually help you out a tons in terms of doing a good bit of extra boss damage. So she actually brings a good chunk of damage to the table as well. In my experience, she's currently doing 1/3 of the damage that I am doing, right? So that is what she is doing for me. Now, in terms of ascendancy points, I initially, well, everyone has to go through this node regardless of where you want to go next. So I took the Noble Blood to make the Mercenary permanent, but after that, I went for the Loyal Bodyguard node, which basically makes it so that I take 20% less damage from hits. Why? Because my life is 4.3k and my mercenary's life is 4.8k. What it says is that if your mercenary's life is more than yours, then mercenary takes 20% of the damage that you would have taken, and just they take them instead. So basically meaning they make it so that you take 20% less damage. And mercenaries have tons of defense and life. They don't care if you just redirect 20% of the damage that you would have taken to them. So it's almost negligence amount of damage that they take, but they are making it so that you take 20% less damage. And this bestowed knighthood basically is why your mercenary's aura actually give you so much more power. It basically makes your auras 1.5 times better, both for the Wrath and Precision aura, meaning they basically give you a hell of a lot more power than they would have if you would have used it yourself without any effect, right? So that's why they are doing quite a bit of more, adding quite a bit more damage to your build. Finally, I also chose to go with the Oath of Fealty, which basically makes it so that the link skills are infinite and have infinite attachment duration. And also your mercenary, if your mercenary dies, you do not die. Link skills are something that you'll need to use constantly because their uptime, I believe, is 8 seconds. Let me actually find the gem so that I can show you the duration tag on it. So it generally lasts for line of sight. Okay, it basically lasts for 9.9 seconds, right? On level 20. But because of the Oath of Fealty node, it never expires. I linked my mercenary at the start of the map, and she's still connected with it, right? So she's getting all the benefits along with 49 crit multiplier. By the way, mercenaries crit multipliers, this passive stats screen could have been a little bit better to show how much crit multi she has, because what I understand is that this is her base critical multiplier chance, 88%. After that, you will need to add like 31 crit multi from the amulet. Let's see where else, if I have got any multi as well. No. So she gets 31 extra from the amulet. For Assassin's Mark, because she's hitting the Assassin's Mark enemies, she's getting like 49% extra crit multi from there. She's also getting 49 extra crit multi from there. So 49, 49, 98, 98, and 31 is what? 128, 129, sorry. And then she has 88 extra. So 88 plus 129, 217. She has 217 crit multi, which is decent enough. As I said, that in terms of damage, she does do about 1/3 of my damage, and I consider this to be very strong, considering she's giving me so many other things like auras, debuffs, extra curse, and whatnot. So I do consider that she's actually giving me a ton of things. In terms of gear for my mercenary, you can take a look. Every single slot that can allow me to gain damage for her, I have went for damage. And every single slot where I cannot get damage for her, I have just went with life, regen, chaos regen, chaos resistances, movement speed on her boots and all that. Just normal things, right? It's nothing unnatural. Now, one thing you guys may be thinking is that why not use unique items? Because there are some good unique combinations that you can actually use. Now, first of all, if I were to choose to go for these nodes instead of any of the other ones, I gotta tell you, the destructive link gives quite a lot of power to the mercenary. You're going to be losing a lot of power if you do not use this Oath of Filthy node. That leaves us with the 50% increased effect of non-curse aura node from the bestowed knighthood. I would consider the taunts on hit node to be negligible, so I would not talk about it. It doesn't do much to you because you're always on the front line, and most of the time the taunt just never gets through. Basically, the enemies will hit you because the taunt gets applied, but because you are continuously hitting the enemy from the front line, the enemy kind of chooses to hit you instead of the your mercenary, so disregard that. But the 50% increased effect of auras does indeed give you a lot of damage, right? You cannot just neglect that. If I go to the path of building, I think it's on the calculation, yeah. Currently, if I'm doing like 3.7 mil damage, and if I get rid of 50% increased aura effect for Wrath and 50% increased aura effect for Precision, you see that is quite a good bit of damage that you're going to be missing out on, or about 400k damage. So I would not consider to not use that node. But the last but not least, the main reason that I actually did not go for any of the unique option is that if you want your mercenary to do more damage via using unique items, you kind of need to take this node, Legendary Arms, which would allow your minions to do 8% more damage per equipped unique items, right? But the issue is that there is no good unique bows or quiver that are applicable and that are going to be doing much to your lightning arrow based damage dealing bow character that would make you decide that to go for a unique items instead. You can probably think of using Tempest. Tempest is a unique bow, but it does not give that much damage to your lightning arrow build. Remember, you are still have to use a non-unique quiver, because I cannot think of any good unique quiver that basically gives you much of anything for a lightning arrow build. And if you choose to go for, if I were to go for this node, I would have went for these ring nodes, right? If I go for the ring nodes, I won't be able to use, where is it, the curse enemies with elemental weakness ring. Now, you can also get the cursed enemies with elemental weakness on hit implicit on your gloves when you corrupt gloves, or get a corrupted gloves. But the issue is that on that case, you're going to be missing out on intimidation and chance to maim. So all of these things considered, I thought that it may be not a very good idea to actually go for it, right? So I actually chose to not go for that node at all. So that is it. That's pretty much it. That's the highlight of the Thunderquiver Mercenary that I've been using, that has been actually giving me quite a lot of power. I hope that you guys liked seeing this video. That'll be it from today. Bye.